Hello, and happy fourth day of Christmas. Welcome to the present moment. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Did you ever hear that? I love that. I love this. I love this, and I love that. Today's present includes the fourth day of Christmas. It includes the fourth day of Kwanzaa, which is the day we celebrate and acknowledge Ujamaa, which means cooperative economics. So perhaps Mitch McConnell, based on his behavior today, could use some Ujamaa, cooperative economics. That'd be good. Uh, I understand that in Kwanzaa, which we do celebrate at my church, I'm not just sort of talking about it from what I've heard. I have experienced Kwanzaa celebrations and enjoy them immensely. I just love everything we can celebrate, and Kwanzaa gifts are usually creative expressions, homemade things, things that are given at the end of the 7 day celebration on January 1st. There are also many cultures which celebrate Christmas and the big gift giving and the big feast on Three Kings Day, as it's called in Puerto Rico and several other many Latin cultures, January 6th. So for many cultures and in many places and for many people, the big gift giving thing hasn't even started yet. Did you take down the tree already? Is it out by the curb? If you haven't yet, please leave it up. It's only the fourth day of Christmas. The celebration of Christmas does not end until a week from today. In some Scandinavian countries, it goes through January 21st, which my partner very much prefers that we would celebrate here. But I kind of, put the brakes on after January 6th. But at least the full 12 days. What's the rush? Haven't we had enough non Christmas days this year? Let's be present to what is. Let's love what is. Let's talk about presence, both kinds, being present and presence. Um, okay, presence first. One of the very beautiful things, at least that I find about Christmas time and all the December holidays really, is that so many involve gift giving. Uh, Gift giving is just a way to express love for those we love. Some people inherently object to gift giving. Christmas advertising certainly has been an aggravation to that. The move toward Christmas is about me, in the department stores with their logo and people in new outfits. I know, looking at me, how many red sweaters do I own? Really, a lot. But the whole Christmas is for me deal. It's not. It's not about us. It's about those we love. It's about kindness toward others. And then yes, it's about what these expressions of love and kindness make of us. That's the big celebration. I mentioned in this last video, I've been doing these little pop ups throughout the holidays, and we'll continue them through the 12 days of Christmas. Uh, not every day, try not to do too much, but just to help create conversations about this sort of thing. And feel free to throw into the chat anything you want to say, any questions you have about it. Um, the Course in Miracles, I said in the last video, it teaches us never forget you give but to yourself. Who understands what giving means must laugh at the idea of sacrifice. Giving is such a great way to express to those we love how much we love them. So let us love with abundance. And I know perhaps you're heartbroken, or your heart is breaking. Perhaps a relationship ended this year, as so many have during this pandemic. I don't think any of us went into relationships thinking, let's lock down and stay together in our apartment every hour of every day. That wasn't part of the original plan. For most people I know, certainly not for me. And the breakups that have occurred for so many people, they can have the effect of our momentarily forgetting that we are loving and that we are lovable. So let's remind ourselves of that right now. Let's just say it out loud. I am loving and lovable. Just wherever you are right now, say it out loud. I am loving and lovable. And let's just give ourselves a hug. Just take a moment and hug yourself. You can say it again if you want. I am loving and lovable. It's so good to remind ourselves of that. And giving love, kindness are ways we help remind ourselves of who we really are. Um, Loving and lovable people. And it's still the 12 days of Christmas. Today's only day 4, so there is plenty of time to express, to give. And what's the best gift? The gift of time. I'm so sure of that. So, something homemade, some creative expression. My partner and I this year, you know what we did? We made lots of tomato sauce for our close family and I mean for our family and our close immediate circle. That was our gift. Our gift was homemade tomato sauce. We took some lessons in canning, which I've done before, but it's always good to refresh and get current information. And we got some ball jars and we canned up the tomato sauce and sent it out, and the mailing costs were high, and so were the ball jars for that matter, unexpectedly so, because everyone had the same idea this particular autumn of 2020. But that's what we did, and it took hours and hours and hours of simmering and chopping fresh herbs and peeling garlic and all the things we do. And it was great because it was so appreciated, because it's an expression of love. It represents time, the time that we give to one another or for one another. Um, you can make tomato sauce, you can sing, you can dance, you can draw, you can offer a piece of writing or something you made specifically for someone else with that person in mind. You know the expression, it's the thought that counts? Well, years ago, when I first found crystals and got into that a little bit, and yeah, I'm a little into crystals. I mean, I'm not, but I'm a little woo woo, right? Um, Years ago, I remember there was a section in one of the books I read about crystals called How to Buy a Gift. And it said to basically just hold the crystal and just think of the person you want to get a gift for. And the thought will come to you of exactly the right thing. And I don't always hold the crystal, but I certainly do take time to meditate, to clear my mind, and to think about someone when I'm choosing what I would give to them. And there's something so beautiful about that, because we say it's the thought that counts, that we thought of some other person and how they appreciate that. You know, um, it's the thought that counts, thinking of that person. Is there someone we can think of at this holiday time? Can we give them the gift of a thought? Can we dedicate the intention of our meditation or yoga practice or prayer or whatever we do as a gift? How about a phone call, a visit, a letter, a Christmas card, a kind word? How about forgiveness? This does not even require that they be present. Can we forgive them in our hearts? Can we give of ourselves? There is so much more to be said about presence, but I'm already coming on 10 minutes and I want to finish this one up quickly because I know people have a lot to do during the holidays and things to get to. Uh, there's there's a lot more to be said about presence, but the main thing is that we must divorce ourselves from the commercialism that tells us we have to buy something and spend a certain number of dollars on a thing. No, give from the heart. And remember that the best gifts are experiences, not things. Things can be stressful for both the giver and the recipient, but experiences can be joyful for both. So spend some time with someone, even if it's on Zoom. Share a cup of coffee or tea or a favorite holiday beverage. Yes. Now, speaking of being present, Flo Rothaker, I love you. I knew that that would not be okay because of the potassium in the tomatoes, so I knew that that was not something to send you, which is why that is not what you got this year. Um, but Merry Christmas, my friend. So, speaking of being present, we are almost at the new year. Now, I get that 2020 has been what some might qualify as a really terrible year for many of us. And I don't mean like when people say, ah, this year sucked, I can't wait till next year, or I'm ready for a new year. Now, this year was exceptional. It was noteworthy. For many of us, our entire industry was decimated for 3 quarters of the year. But let's keep in mind, in many ways, this year of pain and difficulty for many of us can still be our best year ever in terms of what it has made of us. While we may not even have been fully conscious of how these events have worked on us and changed us and affected us for the good, for the better. Um, there's a quote from John Keats that I'm reminded of, which I love so much. I've used it on my Christmas cards many times over the years. Do you not see how necessary a world of pains and trouble is to school an intelligence and make it a soul. Do you not see how necessary a world of pains and troubles is to school an intelligence and make it a soul? The value of this year in our individual lives will become clear with time. But regardless of the year, I am so not into people just dumping and talking smack about each old year as it ends. And every year I see more of this. You know, Charles Dickens wrote in A Christmas Carol, reflect upon your present blessings, of which every man has many, not on your past misfortunes, of which all men have some. Now, I know that's not terribly inclusive language, but what are your present blessings? Go ahead, put them in the chat. Whether you're watching this live or on replay, feel free to call out your present blessings and give thanks. This new year, you know what we can do? We can get ourselves a jar. And every time something wonderful happens, we could write down a note about it and open the jar and put it in and seal it again and just do it every time something terrific happens. Just a little piece of paper about it, just a little tiny post-it note or slip of paper, and just write down some wonderful thing that made us feel good. And then throw it in the jar. And on New Year's Eve, at the end of 2021, on December 31st, 2021, open that jar. Spend some time looking through it and recognize what an incredibly awesome year it was. And if you did that for this year already, you probably have some pretty remarkable moments of strength and courage and humility and wonder that you can already reflect upon. Reflection questions. Maybe spend some time as this year draws to a close over this next 48 hours and reflect upon your most interesting discoveries of this past year, your most challenging moments. What brings you the most joy? How are you going to do more of that in this new year? What is one change you could make to your lifestyle that would give you more peace, more joy, more abundance? At the end of the year coming, how would you like your life to be transformed? What advice would you like to give yourself as you begin this new year of 2021? I'll tell you what we can do. We can be grateful for the year that we have lived, ready for the new year to begin, open to all that awaits, all that lies ahead this year, even if it's not maybe what we had planned, and willing to rise to the occasion and embrace life on life's terms. Grateful, ready, open, willing is a really terrific way to celebrate a year that has been and to welcome a year yet to be. And we can enjoy the gift of today. It's a gift. That's why they call it the present. This is Arnold Mangioli for Grateful, Ready, Open, Willing. Happy fourth day of Christmas. And happy all that we can celebrate, including simply this day. It's always a joy to be with you. And thanks for watching.